Hello, hello. Hi, Cal. How you doing? I did it. I posted to all the places. I didn't fuck anything up. Okay. Hi, Gamby. How are you doing? Rewatching Teen Wolf for some reason. You got possessed with the wee woo spirit. Okay. Let me get some Daz open because that's what we're doing today. Is we're doing character poses. He is the same. Da, 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 da. He's nothing has changed. He is the same. All right, let's see. All right, I need some poses here. I actually really like this one. If I had some time, I would do like different outfits. But I'm just gonna whip all these Daz ones together and then we'll get started. Pose, fashion, yeah, true. I'm doing okay. My new tattoo, for whatever reason, is like ultra itchy and raised, and it's like it's healed, so I'm effectively having like a histemic response to something, and I don't know if it's just because I'm stressed out or if it's because it's hot or like etc. etc. Sometimes that can just happen, so that's annoying. But other than that, I'm doing all right. We're getting ready to go to Greece and get the fuck out of the United States, and I am very excited about that. Has changed, he is the same. Da, 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 you know, the more I'm looking at this pose, the less I like it. Hmm. Sorry, hold on. I'm doing the most. Maybe I just need to move some stuff. I think this head is just awkward is my problem. Gotta fix his head. Update on my ear, mostly better. Still on the tail end of things, but it's just an annoying state of feeling like cotton is in my ear. I'm so sorry. I fucking hate ear infections so much. Like, literally, worst. Let's see. I kind of wanna. Hydrate. I'm drinking last night's old white tea. Nice and icy now. Agony, settle me down. Oh, I like this one. Okay, this is better. And thankfully now I don't think I have to censor it because, well, I don't know, I still might because fucking Twitch is Twitch. Let me just really quickly on this kid before I do anything crazy. Let me zoom out so that Twitch doesn't lose its mind. Would you? I'm fine. Oh my god. Censoring child nipples because Twitch can't handle itself. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off. Let me just zoom back in on Brady. And then I need like 4 more. Tease me, torture us. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, you know how it goes. Bezos be Bezo and he be Bezorin. Oh, this is a good one. You know that moment when you're jumping to save your fucking life and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die? That's what this pose is. And then I'm actually gonna probably end up dutching this thing. Well, actually what I don't like, hold on. I feel like the problem with a lot of these Daz poses is that they don't take into account the dynamic range of the human body. Like, there is a lot that the body can do, and particularly when under great amounts of force, the body will do some pretty funky shit. And so what happens is that this is much better. What happens is that the poses end up not being very, that looks great, not being very dynamic because of this, which is unfortunate. So you have to like really like tweak them. Let's see, and I recognize I kind of already did like a walking one. I'm like, how athletic is Brady running? Is Brady athletic? Daz has its limitations. It's more so, it's not Daz. It's more so if you can imagine. So this is in art. In old school animation, we used to make these things called armatures. And actually, they still make them for 3D. It's just less common. So, or maquettes, actually. Sorry, not armatures. An armature is what goes in the maquette. So this is a maquette Um, I'm trying to find a good one that's actually this. That's not a sculpture. It's an actual maquette. Ah, this is a good one. So here's one that was made for Clone Wars, right? So you've got Anakin, and he has his little his lightsaber. What's crazy about this is that this is, I think, made out of clay. So you could pose this infinitely because what's inside is this armature. And these maquettes were made like here's one for Shang. These maquettes were made as like a sculpture to be able to better understand how these characters would function in a physical 3D space. So they were insanely important in being able to capture the feel, the vibe of a character. Like here's one for Yzma, it looks great. This is mostly of the head. But this is an animator with a physical maquette in front of him that he could turn around to look at the backside of this character to be able to actually do what he needs to do in terms of animation with this thing. So inside a maquette is an armature. The armature you can make as complex or as simple as you want. If you're planning on doing stop motion with it, it needs to look like this. It has a bunch of movable joints that you can bend and hinge, and it's effectively like some weird fucking Legos. So you can see how the inside of this Chicken Run stop motion claymation character, it has this kind of an armature on the inside, right? So, just like StopMo, Daz is a posing program. So whoever is making those pre-made poses has to have knowledge of the human form and how it bends and twists and what a good gesture looks like for drawing in order to appropriately pose the character. So they have the armature, they have the skin, but they don't have the knowledge of the gesture. And so that results in the actual pose that they pre-save and then sell on the Daz market looking really, really stiff. And sometimes you can get away with stuff stylistically. Like, I'm not, for example, a personally huge fan of this this particular maquette. And the reason is because I don't feel like it is an accurate representation of how physics impacts the human body. This character probably needs to be tilted at an angle more towards this way because when you're running, you are effectively falling forward and catching yourself over and over and over. And so if you have a character that's straight up and down like this, it's going to look like they're bouncing up and down and not like they're actually running. So the best animation studios have the ability to really showcase physics. Like, this is better. This is better. You have the ability to showcase physics in the sense that your object has weight and etc., etc. And so that's where these Daz creators, so it's not Daz itself that has the problem, it's Daz's pose creators that are at fault here because they don't understand how to not make things look stiff because they themselves are not illustrators. They play with poses, and that's all that they do. You know, that like they render in 3D, and I'm sure some of them are very, very good at that portion of it, but they're not illustrators and they're not animators, and so they don't create things that are like dynamic enough to be able to actually like, I guess, like make the pose, I don't know, not stiff. And that's one of the most difficult things that an animator is tasked with, if that makes sense. So I love the actual poses themselves as like a base, but they tend to not be perfect. For that reason. Okay, but amigo, hold on, I'm fucking around with. Stretch, everybody stretch. Ugh. I popped my back. This... pose is not doing what I need it to do. And actually, it's doing exactly what I need it to do, but not in the way you'd think. Sorry, y'all, I am attempting to try and not bork this pose like hella bad. Let's see. I understand what this thing is trying to do here. I get this. Yeah, because you can break the armatures in DAZ pretty easy, and in animation, I know we've talked about that before, where you have to some extent, break armatures all the time in animation. That is not an uncommon thing to do. Definitely not. Like, I think about classic Mirabelle with her fucking, like, 40 million, her 40 million year-long arms. Because that, to me, I'm like, oh. I realize I keep putting... Let's see, so I have, let me double check what I have here. I have kind of a below looking up, true from the side. Let me see, what do I got? Front, and then the other side. I'm gonna go look up other pose sheets. Oh god. Ooh. Oof. Because I like this one. So I don't need the craziest angles. Truly. Because I keep thinking to myself, like, I need some really crazy angles. I love the dynamics of this one. Especially if you have a character that moves a lot. I like this one too. But that's just a classic turnaround, different outfits, that kind of stuff. And we're not going to be drawing Brady in a separate outfit, so I'm not worried about it. But when I think of a traditional model packet, I think about this stuff where you have different poses like this. And none of these people seem to understand that I don't want a turnaround. It's not bad. I'm trying to like look at stuff and be like, yeah, this is good. But a lot of it is always focused on the face, even if it's... Well, like, I'm wondering if I... So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. I recognize there's a butt. I gotta watch out. Actually, I need to censor that one because there's a butt. I totally forgot that the butt was going to be problematic for Twitch. Stupid Twitch. Butt. It doesn't like the butt. Thank you for the granolas. Jay's gonna miss some granolas. Let's see.
Also, Shelby said that she can make tonight work for Indian if we want to go out for
Indian.
That
sounds good.
Okay.
I just don't understand why this bend is not doing what I need it to do. It's twisting. There we go. Better. There we go. Better. Okay, this is pretty good. Oh, wait. Better positioning. Okay. I did it. Okay, I think I fixed this one. Oh, I mean, sure I can. I can also just turn up the gain on my microphone. I had the gain turned down. Let me know if this is a little bit better. The mic is also away from me. I had the gain turned down while I was working on my audiobook because it was too fucking loud and it was picking up effectively every sound in my apartment. Let me know if that helps. I was also kind of half muttering to myself because that's who I am. That is how my brain functions. Did I paste this over here? There we go. Okay. Yeah, gain makes a difference. But then also, too, it's like when you're recording audiobooks, it's wild. I loved the process, but like also... Yeah, I got a little 3-point landing. Brady does a lot of running. So I'm trying to find a good running pose here. Oh, this one's great. Yeah, but I'm like, how much do you run? Oh, that's got a gun. He's got a gun! I'm fine. We are not giving Brady a gun. We don't do that here. Brady don't need a gun. This one also has a gun. The hands are like primed. And I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. Okay, let me just make sure that this kid is not gonna wipe out. Because I would love to be able to give him some better dynamism here. That looks better. A little pocket Glock, just Brady running up. He's like, hold on, I'm 10. I mean, that sounds on par for the United States. Not on par for Brady. I've seen 10-year-olds here with pocket Glocks. Kids have been arrested for less. I love it here. I'm excited because now I don't have to like, now I can like actually spread these out. I might. I don't know if I want to do a prop. Well, I should do the prop, his like backpack on like a different, I'm gonna go in here really quick. Sorry, Brady. I just don't want Twitch thinking you're something weird. When clearly you're just like Ken doll anatomy and you have no problems. I cast Magic Glock. Yeah, honestly. That's the solution to Harry Potter. I keep telling everybody that. I'm like, why did Harry not just shoot Voldemort directly in the head? In the time that Voldemort could have said Avada Kedavra, Harry really could have just been like, pew! Get out of here, contextual bar. Alright, let me just make sure that this gesture looks okay. Because there's a chance that this looks like poopy hole. No, we don't like that. Cal, we got this granola, and it's Earl Grey infused granola. And I've never been able to eat other granola since this point. It's so good. It's like the best granola of all time. So good. It's got like a little bit of bergamot flavor. Yeah, see, and sometimes Daz just fucked shit up. Like, what is this really weird? You see that? What is that? So, this is why we use it as a drawing, like, tool and not, like, the final product. Because, oh my god. I can't imagine being a 3D animator and then, or like a Daz render artist and then trying to get through that. Yeah, it's like the hip dip from hell. Oh, so I made an announcement on the I think I'm gonna release a TikTok here soon, but I also updated the stream schedule for this week to reflect it, and also for this month to reflect it. But obviously, I'm gonna be out of the country, so I'm not gonna be streaming next week or the week after, and it's gonna be great. All right, let me look at this. Yeah. I like it. So, that'll be fun. If y'all need anything from me, I'll be able to check Discord, but like, very rarely. Come on, Han. Hello? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's just, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm very excited to go. That also means, too, that Betrayer's Blade stuff and, like, any Ko-fi rewards and things like that are going to be delayed until I get back. Because my main struggle is going to be somehow grading my classes and still working my job while I'm in Greece. So, wish me luck. That is not how far this goes down. There we go. Nice heart. I don't know if you all heard that. Yeah, nice. Nice technique. She has a faux harp. That's what I thought. I was like, guaranteed she didn't do that with a pedal. I love how I can hear that. She's got like a little tiny like portable folk harp, and she like did this thing where she flipped a lever, and I could hear it. It's like the equivalent of like a guitarist turning their like tuning key on their guitar while playing. I like her harp. Hydrate. I drank more of my leftover tea from yesterday. I really dig this. Yeah, pretty. Well, he looks very, like, stoic here. This is a kid who's got a lot on his mind. Man, I really like this art style, actually. I'm glad that I created the style sheet that I did and that I was able to make this. I'm gonna move this over a little bit, though. I'm gonna do one without his jacket. And actually, believe it or not, I think that he has a t-shirt on underneath. I also have to go leave stream early because I have a doctor's appointment. I like low-key wish it could be done virtually, but it can't. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I've heard this song. This better have the best fucking drop in the whole world, otherwise I'm gonna go. No, it didn't. Face and spurs on my tongue, and I could be anyone. I know that my teacher was like, don't worry about cleanup. But also, don't tell me what to do. Wah, wah, wah. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Bee and Puppy Cat. Foot. There we go. Also, Cal, I love that your mom also watches me. Hi, Cal's mom. I realized I should have said something earlier. Okay, this is my favorite little drawing of Brady that I have ever done in my whole life. Probably I'm gonna lose some of this here. Nice. I do make a good background noise. My teachers have been telling me that since 2nd grade. No, I'm just kidding. I joke. I joke. Little toe. Brady got little foot. Little Brady foot. Not unlike the Littlefoot from that one Don Bluth movie, of which we do not speak. Of which they made literally like 12, apparently. There's so many. Like, almost low-key too many. Like, hardcore. Deltoid. All right. Like, what is this also? Like, Daz, please. Daz was like, hold on. I need a skin flat. Oh, 14 movies? What do you mean? There's 2 more than I thought. That's horrifying. Kind of crazy. Alright, so if I remember right, that's gonna go like this. One came out in 2016. Stop. God, that's so many Littlefoots. Like, what more could possibly be happening to Littlefoot? You know what I'm saying? Like, what more could be traumatizing this small dinosaur child? He was already traumatized enough. Like... God damn. And you know Don Bluth had 0 hand in doing that, probably. Like, guaranteed, Don Bluth was like, please stop making them. And the animation studio was like, but Littlefoot makes us money. God. traumatized. Okay, let's see. Sorry, my brain is soup. I kind of feel like I'm wondering to hello. I'm gonna probably have to do some moving around. But let's give him some good. Whoops. Good face. I can't believe they keep traumatizing Littlefoot like that. I didn't even know Littlefoot had a dad. I don't remember much of the Land Before Time franchise, to be quite honest. All I remember is his mom dying and then being like, well, this movie's not for me. Yeah, we had a bunch of them on VHS as well. And then my mom started buying all of them on DVD because she also is like a high-key completionist as well. So she's like, if I'm going to buy one thing, I have to have all of them. So guaranteed my mom has all of the Land Before Times. Oh, it's time to feed the Snorlax. I'm going to take a break and feed my Snorlax. I had a dream so far away. Something kept doing terrible things. Feeding my Snorlax. Feeding my Snorlax. All my Quackleval produces are beans. He literally produces so many beans. So many beans. We have the first 9. That's a lot. You really could enjoy a Land Before Time. To be honest, though, I gotta admit, from Don, Land Before Time is a fantastic fucking title. He's like, I will punch your face in. I also have to say I was very inspired by how the folks over at Disney drew the noses for Lilo and Stitch. The Land Before Time 10, The Great Long Migration is where we meet Littlefoot's dad. God damn. Well, and I'm like, where was the son of a bitch the entire time? You know what I mean? Like, talk about child abandonment. Like, like, sir, you had a job. No, it's a plot point in the movie, actually. I can't. They thought of everything. Feels like a lot of retconning to me. Like the entirety of Frozen 2. That is really funny, though. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about the whole thing, truly. Bronn tells Littlefoot how he was separated from the mom during the Great Earth Shake in the first film, and during his wanderings, he became a leader of a herd of longnecks and the guardian to a young brachiosaurus named Shorty. Oh my god, the adopted kid is like, bro, who's this son of a bitch? Wait a second. I love it. I'm sure Don Bluth was so fucking upset at all of these. Hold on. Did Don Bluth like the Land Before Time sequels? There is no public record of his opinion. He co-produced the original film. He had no involvement in the direct-to-video sequels. He apparently never watched them. That's straight out of Don Bluth's mouth. Because that was a Don Bluth Steven Spielberg collab. Damn. Yeah, so he was like, they're so bad, I'm not even going to watch them. Holy shit. Feels bad. He's like, I'm going to spare myself the pain. Like, no reason to suffer. Brady's like, I'm gonna punch you in the head. Everyone's like, why? He's like, because you're probably, you hurt my dad. Karate chop. This is, that's it. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm so tired. Everything is malarkey here, and I'm not a fan of it, and I really just want peace. Still haven't heard back from a job. Even the library rejected me because I was too overqualified, so that's where I'm at. Oh yeah, there was also a video game as well. And actually, I think multiple video games, believe it or not. Nah, they recognized the cash cow when they saw it. I believe Saberspark has done an entire essay on how fucking awful the Land Before Time franchise is. I think he may have watched like all of them. Which is, in and of itself, kind of horrifying. I know he watched all the Baltos. And then was traumatized. Yeah, I'm gonna catch these autistic kids so hard. I can't. No, you're right, though. Yeah, they just never really got me. Like, I appreciated them, but I think that they made me too sad. I was just, yeah, I don't know. I was too sensitive of a kid, I think, to be able to cope with that shit. Yeah, I like, for context, I couldn't physically handle Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. Like, legitimately, she would come on screen, and I would then proceed to run around the living room yelling, "Worry, worry, worry, worry," because I was, like, freaking out. And I'd, like, cry. Like, as soon as she'd show up on screen in the original animated, like, Sleeping Beauty, I fucking could not deal. I was like, fucking Prince Philip's gonna get straight murked by this dragon. I also blame autism for that, but that's like a whole different kit and caboodle. The panic was real. God, it was real. I don't think much has changed, to be honest. I still get very easily stressed out. Let me see here. How do I want this? So I'm going to have this go behind his arm like this. I'm just going to carry it through, and then I'll worry about the cleanup after. Yeah, I'm just like, I get very emotionally attached to things. But that's also probably why I'm a pretty decent writer, because I think about how certain things would make me feel. And it's easy for me to be like, yeah, I can see how I would want this to go, or how I would react in that situation. Okay, so far this is going as well as it probably could. I am married to the moving on. Okay, let me just erase out all this shit now. Oh my. It's partially why I like writing kids lit so much, is because kids feel really deeply. And I feel like you can play a lot more with that shit in kids lit than you can otherwise. I just got done with a really fucking good book if anybody wants to read good young adult. It's called Pet by Akweke Emesi. It was fucking phenomenal. Stars a trans main character and has to do with biblically accurate angels. It's very cool. Hi, Anari. How are you? Welcome in. How you doing today? We're working on a portion of my portfolio I'm doing some concept art for a kids concept. How does the moon cut its hair? Eclipse it. We like a good joke. I appreciate you bringing joy. That is a pretty good one. This is for my Brady Von Altus stuff. So Gabby was asking what's it called. This is Brady Von Altus. I wrote a 5-book middle grade series. Or no, wait. Oh, the book. No, you're asking about Pet. Yeah, it's called Pet. Just like 3 letters, P-E-T. I almost got lost in myself there. Yeah, Pet by Akweke Emesi. I believe it's like the only book by that title that they wrote, but they're a Nigerian author, and they wrote a bunch of different stuff in that universe, and they've written young adult and adult, but Pet is the first that I've read of theirs, and it was very, very good. It stars, a trans disabled main character, and it was phenomenal. Dad jokes are good. True, though. I'm the master of one joke. Honestly, if you got a good joke, you win. Are these OCs of yours? Yes. So I'm a professional author and a visual development artist. So I've written a lot of books. I'm currently expanding my portfolio. So this is the main character from my Brady Von Altus books. It's a 5-book middle grade series about the main character. His name's Brady. He's a silly guy, and he has a very phenomenal and very magical family. And he's just trying to cope being a normal kid with a really magical family in a world that's not supposed to know about them. So he has like a dead uncle and like a dad with a fireball for a head and an aunt who's like a swamp witch and she's like really crusty, and a cousin with a block for a head, and he's just like trying to go to school. It's a whole time. But if you're interested, you can check out my website to take a look at all of my books. I have some award-winning ones on there, as well as books that are free. I got, I think, 5 books technically out for free right now. I pretty much almost write fantasy exclusively, so that's kind of my bag. But it's like different age categories, different subsets of fantasy. So right now, I think my free selection includes a vampire fantasy, a traditional like princess-style fantasy, or 2 young adult dystopian fantasies. One, they're like in the same series. And then one that's like a sword and sorcery fantasy, all on my Wattpad. But otherwise, everything else is available on Amazon. But good job at shooting for games. That's what I'm hoping to do with my career. I went to school for visual development to get into games. The industry's hella competitive, so it's definitely been like a long journey for that one. So I kind of like, I don't want to say like I pivoted, but I definitely pivoted into writing books because it was easier to actually get my work out there than waiting for a game studio to hire me. So I decided to write books and go to school to teach other people how to publish books. And so that's what I do. And I'm like just kind of rapidly applying for video game studios now. And waiting to see if anybody hires me. So far, no. But the industry is massively overcrowded right now. It's like really, really bad. But I want to work more on children's stuff. Not necessarily because that's where my focus is. I would prefer to work on like, I guess like fantasy concepts. Oh, I don't like that. Like if I could work on like dark fantasy games like Elden Ring, that would be dope. I applied for this studio called Legion that's working on like a similar concept. So that would be my goal, but I recognize that most jobs that are out there are looking for like kids animation and storyboarding for kids shows because that's popular. And so unfortunately, here we are. But thankfully, Brady is a concept that I really love, and I'm definitely not upset about it. So we're making a model packet for Brady. We're working on this pose sheet, but I also did a character turnaround for him, and what his little costume looks like. And then I also did a set of thumbnails. We were like trying to figure out what his concept like would look like overall, and then we all voted on it. It was pretty fun. So now that we've got that going on, I can go in and make like actual poses for this model packet. I see. I do more like cyberpunk stuff. My favorite is like Gears of War. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I don't really write a lot of like science fiction. I have a science fiction that's currently sitting with agents right now. I'm like waiting to hear back from anybody to see if they want to actually take the book, but it's the first like big science fiction that I've written. It's a hard science fiction, so it's not really cyberpunk. I respect it though. Cyberpunk is fun. Let's see. Oh. Let me see here. Yeah, good. Good, good, good. Yikes. I love drawing clothes, but also... Yeah, that's fine. I'm like, but... I love clothes, but... See, I need the ankle. Because otherwise this is going to look weird. There we go. Actually, I don't like that one. I like this. One of my main projects is Angel of Arcos is about these biomechanical thing called angels who harvest people for their magical properties. Ooh, I like that. They live in a large farm essentially without knowing what they... that where they live is a farm by design. I see. It's more focused on the characters trying to escape and the challenges of existential dread and desperation for freedom and survival rather than trying to defeat the angels. That sounds dope. It's to me kind of got like the similar vibe of like if you've ever seen The Island. It was a movie with, I want to say it was Ewan McGregor. Is that a real thing? Or no, who's it was Ewan McGregor. Yeah, Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. But it was a very similar thing where people they're on this island and everybody wins the lottery occasionally and everybody's like so stoked to win the lottery because they get to go on an all expenses paid like vacation and life on the island is super super good. But then the main characters figure out that they're actually there because they're all clones and their organs are being harvested to effectively like when you get picked for the lottery, you're not going to an island, you're going to be killed so that way they can harvest your organs for the billionaires that paid for their clones. So real shitty. I love The Island though. I would recommend checking that out. It's kind of a cool movie. You might be inspired by it. Nice. Inspired by Attack on Titan and Promised Neverland. Very cool. Elements of Demon Slayer. Very, very neat. I have not seen any of those anime, but I like the art style for Demon Slayer in particular. Yeah, and it is a little Squid Gamey. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, effectively, two of the clones end up escaping, and then they have to go and try and like assassinate the billionaire before they get harvested. Like, so stressful for no reason. But it was really good. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's great in that. She does super super well. It's just super awkward because they're effectively like babies. They don't know what the outside world is, and so it's like they have no idea how to function out there. It's like it's pretty good. Love Brady's chunky little legs. He's such a cute 10-year-old. He's so weird. This kid is silly. Yeah, I don't tend to write stuff that's like super heavy. Fatal Mechanisms, which is the science fiction that I have with agents, is definitely the heaviest thing that I've personally ever worked on. I might actually end up pulling this in just a little bit. Yeah, it's like the darkest thing I've ever worked on. It's got a lot of, it talks a lot about fascism and, what's the word I'm looking for? Transhumanism. You know, what actually makes you human, and does modifying your body too much end up not making you human anymore? Or if you lose empathy, what does that do to you as a human person? Or what does that do to you as a living being? And can you be human without being human? Stuff like that. Questions like that. Yeah, like of all the people that I've ever heard that like watch Attack on Titan, they're like literally it's like top tier, like brilliant, and the animation's beautiful too. I wish I had more time to watch anime. I feel like only recently have I had time to sit down and watch anime like I used to. Because I was in grad school and then I also like work a bunch of like jobs and stuff, and it's just like insane. But now, a little bit more free time, which is nice. So that's been like a very cool change of pace. And now I can actually go back to like doing what I do. I do not like this. There we go, better. Hello? Hello? Yeah, nice. It subverts a lot of stereotypical anime tropes. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's so cool. That's cool. I always appreciate something with good writing because that is predominantly the reason why I don't watch a lot of anime as much as I used to when I was a kid, because a lot of it is very like rinse and repeat, because and this is like definitely no shade to anybody who works on the anime, but a lot of studios' goal is to make as much money as humanly possible, because that's how they make money. So they need to kick out shows as quickly as possible in order to pay their employees. So that ends up resulting in a lot of stuff that like relies very heavily on what's popular versus what's good. But Attack on Titan is definitely like not that. See, I'm actually going to just pull this up and over like this, actually. We can just assume that the other tail is behind that. Yeah. Nice. Oops. Heyo! Oh, the live action CGI Titans terrified me. Look, we don't talk about it, okay? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. Okay, I'm old and my eyes are having issues reading that font, but I'm assuming, is that Manic Studios? Welcome in. But yeah, we don't talk, like, I feel like live action anime adaptations is like, ooh! Like, oof. It hurts. I feel like the only one that I like is One Piece. That like, and I've only seen just a touch of the original One Piece, but I feel like live action One Piece hasn't let me down so far. Like, cool. Okay, that's how you know I'm not super old. Well, welcome in. Look at my scary child. Look at this scary child model that we're using as like a drawing aid. Don't look at him too hard, otherwise he like curses your dreams. I hope you're having a fantastic day. see. Who boy. Blessed, terrifying, weird Daz model. Do you play any games? Yes, as often as I am able. My definitely my most frequently played is Overwatch. I play that a lot, even though I typically don't like competitive shooters. But that's really like the only comp shooter that I'll play. Otherwise, though, lots of RPGs. My current recent revisit has been Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, because that was one of my favorite games on GameCube, and they just released it for the Switch too, which is really exciting. And also to, let's see, what else? Red Dead Redemption 2 has been a recent playthrough. I was like hunting animals and running around. Honestly, I'm a real fan of any kind of casual story-based setting. But speaking of this track, this music track that's over on Twitch, if you're hanging out on the Twitch side, Night in the Woods is a really like fantastic one that I played recently. But I tend to play mostly indie games. I like to support indie animators and game devs as much as I possibly can. I do not play Warframe. No, I've never played Warframe. Yeah, Night in the Woods it's a good one. It's a good one. I like games like that, like See You Later Alligator, and I do play like a lot of The Sims, actually, like kind of a hilarious amount of The Sims. I tend to have to play things that are like, I guess like, I don't know, things that I can do on my own time. I would say yes to playing Overwatch. However, I recognize that like with my schedule, I tend to play Overwatch while I'm working, and so I can't really like party up and then play up multiple matches in a row, because oftentimes I'm like, I'll play like a match and then go and do a like chore or like some kind of work task and then go back to Overwatch, if that makes sense. But you're more than welcome to, let me see what the fuck my battle tag even is. I'm like, I don't know, Blizzard. Battle.net, who even are you? Who even are you? This is my battle tag if you want to add me, though. So if you're ever on and we happen to be on at the same time, feel free. I'm always looking for people to queue up with, because I don't really play like regular comp anymore, to be honest. I mostly only play Stadium. Because regular comp is... Oh, it's scary over there. And then also, too, I was a Sombra main, and then it's really sad because she just keeps getting auto-banned because everybody hates her. So there's, like, nothing I can do. I'll play Ashe, though. I'm, like, otherwise I'm an Ashe main. And then, like, a Moira for support. So I do love my mean girlies. I'm on mean girly squad. If I need, like, a tank buster, I'll play Reaper. And then, like, last resort is definitely Soldier 76. That's, like, a total cheese pick, though. Like, if other people are just really being annoying, then I'll play Soldier. Run around and just use auto aim. Oh, my arm is so itchy. I wish that it would stop doing whatever it's doing. I should probably go to the store and get some hydrocortisone cream. My arm is, like, really hot, actually. Well, not that hot. Stupid tattoo! Okay, I'm alright. I'm okay. If I get done with this, like, pose sheet today, I'm gonna be very surprised. Yeah, if I play tank, I play Zarya because I recognize she's super cheese. That is definitely like a press W to win character. If you walk at the enemy, you win. But she also gets auto-banned from comp pretty much all the time anyway. nowadays, at least. So I don't know if they're going to change the way her character functions, because I think she functions fine. It's just people don't like playing against her. I'm surprised they don't ban Mei more often, because I don't know. I find like Mei more annoying than Sombra, but that's just me. I guess because I play Sombra, I know how to counter her. So she doesn't annoy me as much. I'm so sleepy, eepy. Hey, Superstar, how you doing? Welcome in. I'm gonna probably... Let's see, let me move this behind. You said oi. I've been playing a lot of like Wind Waker, and the first thing that I thought of was oi! Is like that. That's their like hello greeting in that game. Just relaxing, got my days mixed up, thought I had something to do today, and you don't have to do it until tomorrow. Wow. You know what, honestly though, I love that when that happens, because you're like, I'm free! And then there's like, I don't know, kind of a little bit of a relief there, at least for me. I have a doctor's appointment today, so I surprisingly do have something to do. Let's see. Oh my lord. Brr, doctor. Yeah, it's okay. It's for future appointments, not because I'm like dying or anything. Thankfully. Well, Overwatch is reinstalling. You're like, go, go, you demon. Fun fact, once an herbivore is in its prime, it does not need to worry about predators much unless they are in packs. True. Elk, deer, and moose are too powerful for most carnivores. Deer will mess you up. I've seen some stuff. Truly, deer are scary. That is a fact. And moose are especially scary. I feel like people underestimate the power of a deer, though. Like, a lot of people are like, deer are cute. I'm like, yeah. Until you get, like, a hyper-aggressive buck that wants to end your life. Like... There we go. I do love myself some elk, though. I like eating all of those things. I've never tried moose. I want to, but it's very difficult to find places that I don't think it's legal to serve in the US. I'd have to like go to Canada. And even then you gotta find the right restaurants. Yeah, but a buck deer took down 7 wolves. I believe it. I believe it. Crete used to have miniature elephants. I do believe that as well. It's just silly, because then you think about how they probably got separated out there before, like, Crete became an island, and then, like, the water receded, and then it was like, whoops. So silly, though. And then all of a sudden you have, like, a bunch of baby elephants. It's like, oh. Because that's kind of how Indonesian elephants are the way that they are, too. They're, like, they're extra small, but it's because Indonesia predominantly is, like, island. Actually, I realize I forgot. Let me fill this in. There's an island off the coast of Brazil called Snake Island, and it has the most poisonous snake in the world. And the reason for that is because when it got separated, the snakes developed toxic poison and jumping. Oh, great. We love a snake that can spring coil and then jump. Because that is what we want. God, it's horrifying. The snake said yeet, and we all had many regrets. So I'm excited to move to New Zealand because I won't have to deal with any kind of poisonous snakes. Because they don't have any venomous snakes in New Zealand. Which is pretty sweet. The Brazilian army has to go to the island because there's an unmanned lighthouse to check if it's okay. You have to bring a doctor for every person. I believe it. Good God. Yeah, I don't like that. Well, because then those little suckers are jumping out of the bushes and stuff, and they're jumping at you. No, thank you. No. No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I like snakes too, Inari. Me too. I do like snakes. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of bugs. I like certain bugs, but like other ones that are too manic, I'm like, please don't. Mantises are cool. I'm a huge fan of certain types of spiders, but I recognize that they are very nice and they don't hurt anybody. For the most part, unless they're like ultra aggressive, but I tend to live around really cute species of spiders too. Like we have a lot of jumping spiders here in my state that are just so cute. I bought 6 tickets. Anyone want to come? No, I'm good. I'm going to Greece. I'm going to Crete. I'm out of here. Sorry, bro. And then I'm moving to New Zealand with no venomous snakes. Yeah, I'm out of here. I watched a kid grab a mantis and he started screaming because it pinched the snot out of him. That's rough. Yeah, we don't really get mantises where I live. I've seen them here, but they're very, like, rare. I don't think that it's like it's the right environment for them. It's not humid enough. But we got lots of spiders, skeeters, and lots of locusts and grasshoppers. Lots of them. I have hired a series of very well-respected doctors who go for a variety of personal lapses that were very cheap to hire. You're like, but for the low price of $9.99. Billy May's here. I feel like something happens to me here. There we go, that's better. This is a very like Dash from The Incredibles pose. Oh, Inari, thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate it. Welcome on in to the Retro Arcade Club. The tickets were very cheap. They were cheap, suspiciously cheap. I wonder, or I somewhat suspect that the man who sold them to me might have been a pirate. He's like, you want to buy some cheap tickets to a Brazilian island? It's got a lot of snakes on it. Oh, thanks, Inari. I appreciate that a lot. That's awesome. Well, and if you ever want to hang out off stream as well, I know everybody has this, but there is a Discord. I just dropped the link to the chat, or the Discord in the chat, if you want to join. Oh, what does this do? That's what it does. But once you get in there, there's a couple of directions to follow. and rules to read, but otherwise we're pretty chill. We got like an art share and a writing share in there too. So if you ever want to share your creative work that you're working on, you're totally free to do so in there. Also, everybody should stretch. Nice stretch. Make sure you don't get crusty. Biopirates are a real thing because the venom is so poisonous. Like, it's invaluable for creating anti-venom. So theoretically, if you can get on the island and get the snakes, you can make that money. True. At what cost? Is it worth it? I had to like look at my own hand to double check how hands worked. It's fine. I love being an artist. I want to cry. He's fine. Trying to get my social nature back. No, I totally know how that goes. Yeah, we're a really chill group in there. There's not very many people in there who are like uber active, so it's a very like calm environment. I'm very, very grateful for it. Yeah, COVID really messed a lot of people up, I think. I know, like, it's been really hard for me, too. I haven't really wanted to go and, like, work an in-person job since COVID. Like, I just am so overstimulated by people, and I don't know. So I have a business proposition. And you get to go to Brazil. You throw in some free pão de queijo and I'm in. The cheesy bread. Get me that Brazilian cheesy bread. And you got yourself a deal. This is how the Brazilian government comes for us, though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I used to be good with talking, and now I can barely make friends. True. It's just like social places stress me out too much. I don't know. And I know it's hard for me, too, as I, like, get older, because I'm not, like, uber young anymore. Still young, but not that young. So, all of a sudden, it becomes, like, a completely different challenge for making friends. It's like, this is dumb. It's just a day trip. All we have to do is go to the Snake Island. I can't. You make it sound so simple, Superstar. Cue the montage of about 50 snakes jumping out of a bush all at the same time. Like, is that how that works? To the Spinning Monkeys audio specifically. Do 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 do. Kevin McLeod, I'm sure, is like real happy. Yeah, snakes on a plane. True. How old, if I can ask? I am 31. To like, let me see. Yeah, I don't have to do that yet. Yeah, honestly, I feel like being social is just a lot of practice too. So it's one of those things. You just have to kind of work yourself back up into it. I know I have a lot of like other reasons as well for not wanting to go out in public, particularly for my own safety, that don't have to do with COVID necessarily or how I felt because of COVID, but for a bunch of different reasons that unfortunately are currently unfixable. So that's been really fun and super lame. So it's like I can't really go out and socialize because there's like not a really like a safe place for me to do so. Having a midlife crisis. I know a snake-filled island that can fix that. You start selling timeshares to the Snake Island? I can't. Literally, I cannot. Oh yeah, games is a good way to like cross that bridge, I feel like. No, that's a pretty good strategy. Yeah, I like connecting with people that have the same interests as me too. It's always really awkward when you walk into a conversation and someone's like, "Yeah, I really like golf." And I'm like, "Oh god." I'm like, "I know nothing about golf. I respect you, golf man, but I don't think that this is gonna be a good conversation for us. Is there 5 buttons? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 5 buttons. It's just named after this guy who found it, Archibald. And also the snakes that live there. I made Archibald up. Sir. Amigo. Make a pamphlet. Make a little brochure. I think for me, I've been really, really, really lucky that I personally chose a career in the arts. And so I've been to 2 different art schools and then went to a school for a publishing degree. And so some of the people who were in the publishing degree were business management people, but most of them were there because they just loved books. And that was really lucky for me because I think a lot of the people that were there, they were in there for the same reason I was there. And so all they want to do is hang out and vibe and be creative, which is super, super good. But I used to have that problem a lot in like middle school and through some of high school. So I definitely know what you mean. And it can be really like isolating because then it's like, okay, well, this is what I'm really into. And people are like, oh, you like writing weird stories? And it's like, yes. Like, yes. And I know for me, when I was younger, it was a lot of people just not having faith in me. Like, other kids would bully the shit out of me because they were like, dude, you just write weird, like, made-up stuff in your notebook, and, like, you're not gonna go anywhere with it. Like, you just write stupid stuff, and it's not gonna happen. And then, like, I said bet, and then I got really competitive, and then I published my first book at 18, even though it was, like, garbage, and I was like, okay, now what? And so then I just, like, kept going. So I continued out of spite. One of the best things I ever discovered was adult education classes. I take them quite frequently now, and you get to meet a lot of people who share your interests. It's true, though. The other thing was Snake Island. Snake Island. It's going to live with me forever. I'm going to be thinking about it all day now. I can't. But yeah, seriously though, vocational classes too are really cool. Even if you go to like, I know like public universities offer things like you could go and take like ceramics or like basket weaving or, things like that. And that, like, I definitely agree with Superstar on that one. It's a good way to meet people because you can kind of find other people who are also creative too. Writing classes, like those kinds of things for sure. And going back to college would be like another thing too, if you like school, even if it's online. I did not make up Snake Island. You're like, this is real, I promise. I think I've seen the springy, jumpy snakes before, so I do believe you on that one. And it's still just as horrifying to think about, regardless. I had a friend who made a fan OC to ship with one of mine. Yeah, oh yeah, that's so fun. When people are just like kind and like, we all can just vibe and be creative. Like, it's true though. It's true. And your X's and O's. It's a chill environment. It's a lot nicer than actual classes because there's no pressure for grades or anything. That is true though. Yeah, you're just there to learn something fun. I love that. That's so cool. Well, I feel like we do really weird stuff to people here if you, like, live in the U.S., but I guess this is true pretty much for everywhere now, where, like, we set people up to, like, vibe in this educational environment where you have all of this structure and stuff, and then as soon as you're an adult, we take that away. So it's, like, any ability to, like, make friends like we used to when we were kids, where you get into these environments and you can meet other kids and form long-lasting relationships with them over like shared hobbies and like clubs and stuff like that. Like, it just gets taken away. So it's like, then how are we, like, of course we don't function very well outside of that, like, like social structure, because that's what we expected when we were growing up. Seems rude, bruh. One kid assumed I only write smut. No, true. Okay, no, it's a huge problem. I had an issue like that very similarly with doing art, because a lot of people were like, they just didn't understand what you were doing or why you were doing it. And it's like, no, the character isn't naked. Yes, I haven't put clothes on them yet. Like, you have to, art is art. And even if they were naked, like, so, and even if it was smut, you know what I mean? So fucking what? Like, I really feel like people are so judgmental for no reason. Joke's on them, because as a publishing, like, consultant and, like, novel writer and, like, market expert, I can tell you that smut is the #1 selling genre of fiction. And so people that make good smut make a shitload of money. So, like, I'm constantly like, and? Like, I don't know. People are weird. And then they want to, like, get on you about stuff that they act like just really know nothing about. And it's like, okay. Like, sure. Sure, Frank. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, that's what Sarah J. Maas is. I mean, she doesn't write about furries. Sarah J. Maas is the author of ACOTAR, the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and it's effectively fairy smut. It's adult fairy Twilight. We were literally joking about it in the Discord. But that's what that is it's adult fairy erotica. And she makes, I don't know what her net worth is. Her net worth is probably millions of dollars. That's the estimated net worth, though there's no, probably 5 to 10 million as of 2023, give or take. But serial romance authors do make the most money out of any authors on the market. That's what I thought I was missing. It was a class. Aha. By the way, that's a comparatively modern phenomenon. We didn't used to do that. Yeah, we used to have like a social structured thing that you'd go to for generations. No, it's true though. Like, we'd have like town gatherings, or like you'd go to, like, I know, like, for olden times it was like you'd go to church, you know, and like that was like the vibe, is that you'd go and do that. Or you'd have like your morning, like, social gathering with your friends where everybody'd meet up for like a club or like poetry or things like that. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, the Flintstones is a great example of that. I totally think that that's, yeah, a perfect example. It is super sad though. Yeah, I guess I'll write smut. Well, you don't even have to write it like that heavy of like erotica, truly, but like the romance genre, out of all genres of books, is the easiest to make money. However, it's also the most competitive. So you have to write really good romance, or you have to have something that has a completely, like, weird and unique spin on it, if that makes sense. So it needs to have like I guess like a I don't know, like a nice twist to it, if that makes sense. So for Sarah J. Maas, it's Oops, Sexy Fairies was her entire thing. Yes, and the niche is huge in Ari, exactly. Exactly. So, like, the thing is it's like furries also make a lot of money. Like, that's just kind of one of those things. You know, like, I myself am not a furry artist, but I have done furry art to make money. So it becomes one of those things where it's like, it's not uncommon for a lot of people. And like, even I had a professor right before I graduated this spring who was like, yeah, you need to find work somehow. And if you have to do NSFW art to make your bills, do it, because there's no reason not to. But that's a pretty common tactic that a lot of artists and writers do to be able to pay their bills, is to write adult romance or adult erotica. Yeah, you can make a lot of money. You just have to be very committed. And so that's what people don't, I think, get, or they underestimate, is that unfortunately you can't just kind of half-ass it and like be like, ChatGPT, write me a sexy romance novel, because it won't because of content like guidelines, but then two, you actually have to write stuff that is consistent and good, and then go forward from there. And that can be really what's difficult. You have to show that you're invested in the community. So if you are going to do the like furry art thing, for example, you have to be willing to draw a lot of furry art. You can't just like occasionally do furry art. It's like you have to be drawing a lot of it. And that can be really difficult for people to commit to. But it's the same thing with romance novels. You need to be prepared to write like 8 of them before it starts to pick up. And that can be, a lot of people don't want to like do that. Yeah, you have to want to draw the furry. You don't even have to like the furry. You have to just have like the patience, I guess. There's a part of me that thinks it ended because of racist, but that's more of an academic essay. You know, I would not be surprised. Racism does everything. Does that make sense? Well, I'm like, adult fiction in general, like, has, like, adult fiction can be as, like, in the book community, you call that spicy or not spicy nowadays. Adult fiction can have as much spice or no spice as you want. You know, it does not have to be a romance novel, it does not need to have erotic scenes in it at all. But scenes that are books with erotic scenes in them will sell more. Unless you're writing like Amish romance, in which the cleaner the romance, the more it sells. Or Christian romance. But I suppose that like Amish romances are like a subset of Christian romances, truly. They are sort of the same. Yeah. I tend to write mostly like kids lit. I've only written like 1, or I guess 2 technically adult novels at this point. So it's not something that I consider. But I probably am going to be working with Wattpad soon to be an originals like published author through them. Hopefully I have like hopeful, at least like a hopeful onset of that, because they put me on the back burner for some projects, which is really cool. So getting paid to actually like write a novel and get in advance would be fucking sweet. But they are predominantly romance, so I have to figure out like what I am going to write and what my threshold is. But without that level of stakes and at least some of that stuff, typically those things are not what that publisher, for example, is looking for. So you just got to know your audience really, really well. Know what they expect. Like in my Brady books, there's like no romance at all. Like Brady has a best friend. He doesn't have a crush on that person. There's no like romance other than like his cousin is kind of like in the dating scene. That's kind of the vibe for like a book. That's not even like something that's like crazy either. It's just like once. Pure smut feels lifeless, I think. I think it depends on how you do it. I can agree, though, because the problem is, so there's this thing, and this can happen in other genres as well, which is definitely not just exclusive to the erotica genre at all. And effectively what it is it's the difference between plot-driven fiction and character-driven fiction. And so when you write plot-driven fiction, you're more concerned with the events of what's going on in the story over the actual the characters themselves having development, versus character-driven fiction is you have a character who is trying to solve an internal problem and the plot happens around them because they're trying to solve that internal problem. And most people who are writing, whether it's for film or games or novels, largely agree that character-driven plot is more effective than plot-driven plot. And so romance with like erotica for the sake of erotica is an example of plot-driven plot, and it's not very well executed. But you can write really heavily erotic stuff that does have a really good character development in it, and it makes it more like valuable or enjoyable for your reader, truly. So it's kind of interesting, but it's some people pull it off really, really well, and some people don't. So it's like it's definitely one of those like, how good of an author are you, and do you understand what your focus is as a writer? Because I always have romance subplots in my stuff, but again, I write for teens and children mostly, so it's like I tend to not like do that. And also, too, like, outlines for romance tend to be completely different than outlines for traditional, like, speculative fiction, like fantasy or science fiction. You know that moment when Brady's like, oh no! Oh, cool, I'm glad that you got in. Let me know if you have any questions about going over to the rules and stuff. Let me see. Let me send you the directions. Cool, so I tagged you. Oops, I don't think it did. Sorry, I'm dying. There we go. I forgot a capital. Cool, so I just tagged you in some directions to get into the rest of the server, but let me know if you have any problems doing that reaction roll stuff. Why? Yeah, because once you do those reaction rolls, you'll be able to see all of the other channels and stuff, and that should let you in. Lord. Okay, in about 10 minutes, unfortunately, I gotta go to my doctor's appointment. Gosh darn it. Wow, allergies are the worst. Sorry. Yeah, it'll be totally fine. Thankfully, the doctor's appointment is totally super easy. It's mostly it's a plastic surgery appointment, so it's not anything super crazy. And it's like non-invasive as well. Like today is just a consultation, so it should be really straightforward. My doctors are the best. I never have problems at my doctor's office. I have this new project I'm working on. It's a little different from what I've done in the past, but I've gotten so much written in the last few days. That is so exciting. Oh, that's stoked. It's got me stoked. If you want to talk about it, feel free. I love your orc wrestler, so I'm sure whatever you're cooking is good. I like how, like, you take really, like, I don't know, I guess, like, tried and tired stuff, like tropes, and then you just go crazy with them. Doctors have tried an Island of Snakes. Yep, this doctor is not from the Island of Snakes. He is, in fact, from Greece, so definitely not a Snake Island guy. Oh, nice. Cool. Okay, I'm glad that you were able to get in. Yeah, feel free to, like, check it out and look around. And if you have questions, you can always literally just ping me and ask, and I'd be glad to help. Not sure if Brady is jumping and is gonna die, or if he got, like, pulled. This is funny, though. I do like this, this pose. Let's see. Ah, I see. They're a human. I'm sure they're not a snake in disguise. Yeah, obviously. Defo not. Shh. Defo. No way it's a snake in disguise. What do you mean, a snake in disguise? What? Who does that? Oh yeah, totally. If you want to put that in the video game channel, I have like a video game channel that's perfect for sharing like battle tags or whatever. Or if you're like, there's also a self-promo channel as well. I guess if you're looking for people to play games and you are like, hey, I'm going to go play Overwatch if anybody wants to play, or I'm going to play Warframe or whatever you got going on, the video game channel is definitely the best place for that. And then if anybody wants to join, then there you go. Okay, there's a lot going on with this hand. What the hell is happening here? What is going on? What are those? Those are my Crocs. I don't want to drive. Mostly the reason I don't want to go to the doctor's office is because I know that this could have been a virtual appointment. And there is no reason that I have to go in person. Because, like, literally, at this point, I'm sure all he needs to do is be like, okay, these are our options. This is what your face looks like, so this is how I would go about doing this. And then I'll book you an appointment probably like 8 months from now when you're in New Zealand. And we're not going to be able to do the procedure before you leave. And I'll be like, why? Look at that little guy. He's like, what? Do you see how much they get paid? Nope. I know not what they do. How does it feel to be free of the ads? Welcome back. Y'all occasionally help me pay for printer ink by watching ads, so I appreciate you. This is a little too close. Gotta really spread this out. He's like, help! Oh yeah, like 1,500 from insurance. I believe it. Well, then it sucks because I know that like the doctors themselves don't probably get paid like that much, and then most of it goes into like admin costs, and so the hospitals also like eat a shitload of it. Thankfully, I'm on that sweet government insurance because I make $0 effectively. So I don't pay anything, and that just means that hilariously enough, the government is paying for all my care. So I'm like, suck it. Nah, my doctors are actually super, super great. No, it's not a private practice at all. It's through a university hospital. My doctors are actually phenomenal. And I believe that the only reason that they're having me come in today is because they want to take pictures of my face in an appropriately lit setting. They need to be able to actually see what they're going to be working on because I am getting or would be getting a procedure done on my face. So, that being said, they have to have my actual face in order to be like, okay, let's take a look at your face and figure out what's going on. But 9 times out of 10, if I need to meet with my primary care provider, I'm doing it online, which is really cool. And certain doctors of mine, like my neurologist, for example, I don't even have the option to meet with them in person. I can only meet with them online, unless I need like an EEG. But then that's like done with like text. They don't really like do that. Oh yeah, no, private practice is like. That's like a whole other animal. No, you're so right, though. Nah, the facility that I go to is really cool because it's predominantly research-based, and so they, like, focus mostly on, like, on research, which is really, really cool. So I end up getting access to a lot of services through that, too. Bye, Nari. I'll see you later. Thank you so much for coming in and the follow and all of that cool stuff. I'll be back tomorrow at around the same time if you want to pop in and say hi. We're going to be working on some writing tomorrow, so if you want to hang out, I'd love to see you. But it was good to see you today. Appreciate you. Yeah, how much insurance is charging for checkups? I believe it. It's like, it's insane. I mean, that's why a lot of people want to be doctors, right? Wasted my love, you wasted this love, you wasted my love. Look at this bottom of this foot. No way. Wow. Amazing. Wow. No way. Alright, so let me see here. I also don't think that his hat survived this, whatever this is. I don't know where his hat is, but it's not here. Oh, my idea. Oh, it's like A Land of Forgotten Seas. It's basically about what happens after creations are abandoned. Yo. For whatever reason, my brain immediately went to Bing Bong or whatever the fuck his name is from Inside Out. Rip Bing Bong. Alright, well, that looks hella good. Bing Bong, fuck your life. Good God. Okay, let me save this out, and then I'm going to be done for the day. So, pretty much, that's it. That's it for today. So I'll be back tomorrow to stream some more, hang out, and do some writing, like I said. So hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow. And other than that, I appreciate everybody. Thanks again to Inari for the follow. And then also, thank you so much to, let's see, who was the user? Super Phone Dialer over on YouTube for the most recent sub over there. That was really cool. Slowly climbing to 500 over on YouTube, so that's been really neat. Yeah. So I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.